if all the native Brits living here, okay, the white native Brits, were replaced by their great-grandparents, okay, including the government, the Islam problem would be solved in a few days.
Does the average American, do they just have no idea what's about to hit them?
Yeah, probably. The average American, unfortunately, is just, I imagine like the average Westerner, is just their noses on their phone, social media. And the worst part is, then some of them are watching Fox News or whatever, CNN, and they think they're informed. And I don't know. I don't know if you're informed or indoctrinated. Okay, so it seems to me the people who think they're informed are the least informed, because it's kind of like the same phenomena of what's going on with public school systems. You go there and you think you're the educated one, but your head's been filled with all sorts of nonsense, including woke nonsense nowadays. So I think by and large, obviously it's hard to say, but a lot of people I think viscerally understand something's wrong here too, but they can't put their finger on it. And I think one of the reasons for this is, like I said, we keep looking at symptoms, not root causes. And the symptoms, so Islam is a symptom. Islam in the West is a symptom. It's not the root cause. And the root causes, as all root causes are ultimately more philosophical. And that's why they're harder to kind of pinpoint and understand. And usually they've taken generations to actually mature and permeate society. But in this particular case, for example, that's why I say, okay, let's say the West, UK, okay, could tomorrow take care of the Islam problem. They could. Physically, they have the capacity to do it. They have the authority to do it, all right? But the mentality has so changed. In other words, if all the native Brits living here, okay, the white native Brits, were replaced by their great-grandparents, okay, including the government, the Islam problem would be solved in a few days. Okay.
And what would they have to do? What would be done?
Even if it would be something like, hey, you know what? We don't want to live with you people in the way you are. We're going to send you straight back to your countries. We're going to give you an allowance, some money. But that's just the way it is. What are you going to do about it? Okay, but now the philosophical underpinnings of their descendants is such that I can never even conceive of doing that, because I'm a humanist, because that might traumatize someone. Because, see, all these sorts of things that have crept into the Western epistemology have paralyzed people. Yeah. Okay, so it's not that it can't be done. It can be done. Lots of things can be done. The UK can go back to being merry old England if it wants in any time. Okay, but due to these really paralyzing philosophies that have just permeated the culture so much and the epistemology, people can't act. All they can do is talk about this new party, this new politician, I'm going to vote. But if you zoom out and look at what's happening, it's just been a complete downhill spiral. It doesn't matter,
The ideology behind multiculturalism, individualism, the liberty that we've had in the 1900s and the early 2000s in the UK and the US and Europe, it's really strong. And it's really attractive, so that even I've been doing this show called Heretics, which is against a lot of the mainstream and so on. Even I've balked at the idea of but sending people back who are individuals who live here. And I'm only getting to the point now. It's taken years of speaking to people like you every other day for 2.5 years to even get to a point where I'm going, oh shit, maybe we've got no choice. And so you'd have to sit like Clockwork Orange. You'd have to sit the average person down, hold their eyes open for 2 years. Yeah. That's how you get people out of cults. It's slow.
Yeah,
you can't,
I know. But there isn't much time for that. That's the problem.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Shit, man. I don't know. And then they would say, a lot of those people would say, as a Scientologist would say, of anyone who's disagreeing with them, they're a suppressive person. Those are the words they use. They go, don't listen to them, basically. They would say that that you and I are radicalized.
Yeah. And we're blackpilling.
Yeah. How do we make them realize we're not, or maybe we are?
I'm not radicalized. I'm just normal.
That's what everyone says, though. That's like people saying, I don't have an accent.
I see your point, but what I'm saying is I'm just telling you how things work historically and how things can work today. If you want something done, look, if you're going to define your culture and your policies by the way they are defined, which is, the human rights, and of course I'm not attacking human rights, but they've also been weaponized, you have to understand. All these terms. Multiculturalism, what's so great about when you think about it, do you know what a culture is? They seem to think that cultures are exotic food. No, actually a culture is a distinct worldview. So how is it great when you get a society where everyone has a different worldview, different priorities, different ethics, and you throw them in together? That's good. I think I'd prefer homogeneity. You know what I mean? That's how a country should be. Now, it's one thing to say different races. I have no problem with that, as long as they all share the same, the same priorities and the same culture. Okay, that can work. But to bring in and celebrate the fact that everyone believes in something differently. Okay, so even in and of itself, that's insane. Why would any country want that? And we celebrate that.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. So people they don't get it. They've been duped.
It's a beautiful word as well.
It's a beautiful. Well, it's been made beautiful. Okay, and like I said, most people think it means instead of walking out of my bland British house and just seeing a bunch of white people all stuffy, I'm going to see exotic Indians, and I'm going to see a turbaned man, and I'm going to go get really authentic food. And wow, that's awesome. That's multiculturalism. Well, no, actually, the real thing about multiculturalism is all those people have a different worldview than you, completely different.
They'll fight each other.
Yeah.
There's a reason. I said this to someone recently. I said, "Would you go and live in Pakistan?" And he said, "No." We were having an argument, and he said no. And I said, "Why not?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know actually. Well, maybe I would. I haven't." And I was like, "No, you wouldn't live." He said, "No, because I haven't been there." And I said, "There's a reason you haven't fucking been there."
Is he Pakistani?
No.
Oh.
But because he was just like, he was fine with the influx of Pakistani community.
Right.
So I said, would you live there? Because that's what we're bringing here.
Yeah.
And he started by saying like, no, I wouldn't. And then he's continued by saying, well, I haven't been there actually. So maybe
I will. Yeah. So he's lying. He's trying to save face.
Yeah, maybe I would live there in Pakistan. It's like, I know so many people who were quite woke or multicultural who've gone on holiday to India with their girlfriends or wives and walked down the street and had the most appalling, that is what has to happen, I think, with the 50, 60 million Brits, and Americans, they all have to go on holiday with their blonde wives and walk down the street in India. Yeah. In not in every city.
Well, or just here in London, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. It's a joke.